And welcome back to Lantern Corps. Sorry, I have to adjust every month when I switch back and forth. This Lantern Corps video comes to us from, or is sponsored by, no, is suggested by Joseph McDuff, who asked the question, what is the Lantern Corps of? And I want to try to get this guy's name actually right here. Sousuke Sagara from Full Metal Panic. Now, weirdly enough, while I'm not well versed in Full Metal Panic, I do actually remember watching this occasionally on Adult Swim. I do remember this show. And so I have at least a little memory of it compared to some of the other stuff I have to do on the channel. So I do recall this guy, and I had to check on his personality, but yeah, being very serious, having no social skills, but being, a lethal machine. And basically that's what he was prior to the series starting, is that he was a war dog. It's only through later on in the series does he actually gain the ability to socialize, to have emotions, strong enough emotions that register on the chart anyway, because he's kind of emotionless otherwise. Which makes doing a Lantern video about him very difficult due to the fact that the Lantern Corps exist for emotions, and, without having any strong affinity towards anything is very difficult. Now, it is described that despite not having any strong emotions, he is ultimately a person with a very good heart. So he's not without something like compassion, for example. It's just it's buried under a lot of stuff. So we can X off an Indigo ring right now. I think we can also X out a bunch of these, including the Gold Lantern. I don't know if he feels shame for a lot of his actions. He may very well feel some shame, certainly, but I don't know if that's a driving force behind his actions. I don't think it is. Unfortunately, because of the lives he's taken a lot, even if he's protecting, I could not in good conscience say he's a White Lantern. I don't think he'd be a Blue Lantern of Hope. When you're in that kind of line of work, hope doesn't really work in favor for you. Maybe people will put their faith in you, but that is not exactly the same thing. The Blue Lantern rings are basically religious rings, if you will. Hope and faith go hand in hand. It's why apparently a lot of murderers or ex-murderers get them, because they want to hope for something better for their lives. That's true, by the way. A lot of Blue Lanterns apparently either are ex-killers looking like who have found salvation, or just people of religious faith, which faith and hope really go hand in hand, as I said. He's not someone who's really greedy, so avarice didn't work in favor for anything. He's also, while he does obviously grow to care for someone as the series goes on, it's not something that necessarily motivates him until maybe near the end. I didn't put it on here initially, but I suppose a Star Sapphire near the end might work. So you're down to a couple Lantern rings right here, and I think one of the less likely, but still possible, is the Lantern Corps of Rage, the Red Lanterns. That's because you do not go into the line of work that he does or did without having a lot of baggage. I mean, yeah, you might want to serve, but when you're like a war dog, there's probably a lot of anger in there that you need to get out. And so rage, at least for a while, could have been a dominant trait of dominant ring of his, or emotion. I could also say that before he really started to change over, black might have been a very solid choice, as black is the color of death. You either need to worship death, basically, encompass death, have just be death pretty much, or be dead, or have died, to qualify for a Black Lantern ring. I think he definitely qualifies on probably the mass killing factor of it. He's probably taken a lot of lives in his time. Fear might work, but I have a very loose memory of the show. I don't recall people really being afraid of him, so I don't know if that would work. But I mean, you also got to factor in will as an option as well, because the amount of willpower this guy has is something obscenely high willpower. To be able to do a lot of the stuff he's done, overcome a lot of the emotional baggage that he had to overcome, and come out on the other side saved. So the question is, between these three, will, death, and rage, what is the most likely? And add maybe the Star Sapphire on there as a little end piece. Well, if we're talking about the beginning of the series, I would say it's either rage or it's the Black Lantern of Death. My guess would probably lean more towards rage, just because he's taken a lot of life doesn't really qualify him beyond that. So, yeah, I'd probably lean towards Rage with that if we're talking about the early series, but if we're talking about the end of this or near the end of the series, my guess would probably, I mean, again, Sapphire maybe, but it's probably Will. He's gone through his arc, he's had his journey, he's come out the other side a better person for it, and yeah, you need immense willpower to do that, and he did it. So ultimately, that is that is the Lantern Corps I probably would choose for him. But keep in mind, again, this is a character who I'm only passingly familiar with. For those who know the series better than I do, let me know in the comments below if any of these other ones make sense to you. But that's it for today. I'll have my what if out for tomorrow, and I might do some other random video. I don't know. I might feel it in the mood. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.